All right, you're good to go.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the John Wallace Middle School Project Building Committee. It is October 17th, 2024. It is 5:48 p.m. And Lauren, could you do the
I
roll
will start the roll call. Yep. Chairman Woods,
here?
Sean Halloran,
Here.
Chris Minor,
Here.
Dave Nagel,
Here.
and Kim Rada.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Okay, great, thank you. Public participation is the next item, and I'm going to assume we have no one there, right? We don't. Approve prior meeting minutes. We have two. The meeting of Thursday, August 15th, and Thursday, September 5th. So I entertain a motion that we approve the minutes as written for those two
So
dates.
moved.
Thank
So
you.
moved.
Thank you. And a second? Anyone?
I'll second, Steve.
Thanks, Chris. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next item is owner's project manager. They're gonna introduction and status updates.
Sure.
Eileen and Jim, welcome.
Thank you.
Like I just saw you.
Good evening, everyone. So most of you know Jim and I, but if you don't, I'm Eileen Eagle with CSG, and I'm going to be your project manager throughout the John Wallace project. And Jim Giuliano is my boss and the owner of CSG as well. So Jim, if you want to say something.
Yeah, we're pleased to be involved in another project in Newington. We want to thank you for the selection and look forward to moving forward on this project. Thanks, Eileen.
Thanks. The current update from CSG is that we received our contract from the town of Newington on Tuesday, 10/15, and we've been involved in gathering some information and starting to move forward on the planning stages of John Wallace. So the team has met 3 times, and we hope by the time we meet next week, everyone's going to have their fully signed contract. CSG again has been gathering and providing information to the team about the original grant submission, and that's with help from Lou Jack Mowitz. We've been going over a few of the lessons learned from Anna Reynolds, and we'll do a little bit more of that. CSG is going to be responsible for providing the hazmat and commissioning RFPs, and we'll need to move forward with the hazmat RFP first. We'll also be working on putting a budget together once we have a bit more information. That's our current status. Anyone have any questions?
Do I have any questions for Eileen? What's anybody's hand up? Okay, thank you, Eileen. Next item is 6, which is architect introduction and status update. We have Bob Roach from Fryer Associates with us. Bob?
Good evening, everyone. So Fryer is just finalizing our contract with the town. We've already begun drawing existing conditions and coordinating with the engineers as to the existing plans that have been sent to us and our field work previously done when we did the town assessments for the building. So we've been coordinating with CSG and Newfield on the schedule. We're planning to have a walkthrough with the town at some point within the next week or so, just to have our team there, hear any things which may not show up on the plans, talk about the conceptual plans, and move forward to tighten up the schedule and get things moving along swiftly.
Anyone have any questions for Bob?
Joe Harpy.
Mr.
Yeah, go ahead,
Chairman.
Joe.
I know we must all share this concern. We're a number of months behind on the initiation of this project in terms of committee. None of the committee members are to blame, nor school administration. But we're about 22 months behind where we wanted to be. And we've been given, which I think is a fair number, of a 7.5% increase year after year with this kind of delay. And I'd like to get your feelings on that and how you can work around those kinds of situations.
Well, we had a meeting earlier today between Newfield and CSG talking about the schedule because, as I said, we're waiting to finalize the contract, but we've still been moving forward because the state review process does not require meetings at every phase, schematic design, design development. They just want to see you at the end of construction documents before you go to bid for approvals. So we were discussing the possibility of combining schematic design and design development into one phase. So Newfield is putting together a list of documents that they would like to see in order to do that first estimate. And we're going to circulate that with our third-party estimator and the engineers and agree upon a scope and a timeline so we can get things moving forward and hopefully compress the schedule a little bit on the design side so we can keep things, keep your target dates on the bidding and construction side closer to what the projection was.
So if I just might follow up on my question, Mr. Chairman.
Sure, go ahead, Joe.
In your opinion, then, would we be looking at an increase in our FIs, request for information from the trade? Or given the simplicity of the project, that shouldn't be an issue?
Well, having worked with Newfield and CSG before, they're very good at sussing out any things which the design team may not be picking up on. So we will work together as a group to try and answer those questions on whether it be constructability or just phasing, to minimize those questions further down the road. And as far as the escalation you had mentioned previously, the numbers have come down a little bit. But in our favor with this project is the fact that not only do we have a good cost estimator in Newfield, but we also have a third-party cost estimator from our end. So we will be reconciling at the end of design development and construction documents to make sure we're on track and that the numbers are tracking with your budget. And if they're not, we'll immediately address that through proposed value engineering items and meeting with this committee to verify those.
And would you say it's a fair statement that the committee wouldn't anticipate numerous change orders given the simplicity of the project?
Numerous change orders? No, I don't believe so. I think when we have that meeting next week, when we walk the school and we get a little bit more information of what may not be showing up on the existing condition drawings, learn a little bit more about the day-to-day functioning of the building and maintenance or other concerns, I think we'll be able to address those things. We're doing a full gut of the wings and reconstructing new. So I don't see the potential for numerous change orders, but there's going to be one or two along the way. And that's just the nature of the project when you're working in an existing building and trying to get you the scope that in the final project that you want, because you may not have thought of everything when you put out the RFP and the ed specs. So we're going to work together to minimize those, but get you the project you want at the end of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bob, I just have one question for you. When you say that you have a meeting with the town, obviously the Board of Ed will have representation there, but is it like fire marshal, building inspector, town engineer? Do you get to that level now or?
No, at this point, it's just the facilities folks. We're that's at the schematic phase. But once we have a true uh, schematic plan, does once we're going into design development, at that point we will be looking to talk to the state, um, talk to the grants people at the state, even though we don't have to see them until the end of the project. But we would like to get their buy-in initially and not wait till the end when we're done, and also loop in with the local officials, building and fire marshal, just to see if they have any concerns or if there's any requests that they have with the schematic design.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions for Bob? Tim, welcome. I see you joined us. Construction manager, introduction and status update. Mr. DeMauro.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tom DeMauro, and I will be leading the pre-construction charge for Newfield Construction. Similar to what Bob and CSG said, we are in the final stages of our contract comments. So we have just about have a contract. We've been having a couple of pre-con meetings so far. And we'll be working with Fryer over the next week or so to develop that pre-construction schedule so we can give you more definite dates. But the target is still to begin the project in June of 25. If there's any questions, that's really about all I have to say for tonight.
I had a question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, go ahead, Joe.
Now, I know that you can't discuss these contract negotiations in public, but and if you don't think this is a fair question, please tell me so. I'm sure you will. Is there anything in there that's a surprise to you guys, or something that you didn't anticipate within your own operation that's delaying it? The execution of the contract, or?
No, nothing at all. It was just some minor comments, more just kind of straightening out the typos and just a few clarifications, but no major issues at all.
Okay, thank you.
Everybody uses the AIA forms and everybody hates the AIA forms. So I find that ironic, but that's just life. Okay, any other questions for Tom?
I would just like to add that the urgency of this project is still there, without being, political or anything else about it. I mean, this is a very critical project that the committee has committed itself to. And we regret the delays that were outside of our abilities to change that. And I'm sure that puts pressure on everyone, but if there are some strategies that have been already discussed that can be adjusted with the state, then I think that's a worthwhile conversation for the committee to have with the council or whoever the chairman thinks it's appropriate to have it with.
And Joe, I agree with you, but as you heard, I think from all three members of this team, that even though they don't have contracts, they're still moving forward because they know the contracts are forthcoming.
Absolutely.
They're very
Absolutely.
small details.
Yep.
So I don't think anybody's doing anything to slow this down. Everybody knows the importance of the dates we trying to meet. And obviously that June of 2025 for a start date is critical.
And I wasn't suggesting.
I know, I realize that.
We're not playing it again,
You and I have been doing this for a long time. Time can get away with you on these things very quickly.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other business pertinent to the committee? Lauren, do you have anything for us?
I don't.
I just had a quick question on whether there's going to be a revised budget that's going to start the schematic portion, because the concept work has been done. Is that a correct understanding on my part?
I didn't hear the first part of that question.
Is the budget that's going to be reviewed by us and workable for the contractor, is that going to be the schematic phase of the budget? Or
Steve, I can take that
are we
question.
starting all over again, I guess I'm saying.
Go ahead,
I
Tom.
don't know.
So we have the budget that you submitted to the state. That's our starting point for, call it a control budget, if you will.
Right.
But the first estimate you're going to see is at the conclusion of the design phase, and I anticipate it's going to be sometime just before Christmas or thereabouts. And then we'll do another estimate when the documents are like 95% complete. And that's really the estimate we're gonna use, like for the bidders and for estimated values, and that's the estimate we go to the state with. So you'll be seeing the plan now is to provide you with two detailed estimates, one at the end of schematic design and one at the end of construction documents.
It's great, thank you.
Anyone else? Public participation is next item. Again, we have no public. Comments by members? Any further comments by anyone? We will meet again on the first Thursday of the month. If you don't think you have anything for us at that point, hopefully you will, but we can postpone that. But we have a standing meeting. It's easier to cancel them than it is to create them. So with that, a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lauren.